This man is a billionaire, yet he hides behind his girlfriend's back and starts an online romance. But when it's time to meet the woman in real life, he panics. He drags his friend Nick along as a human shield. He begs him to peek through the window, just one quick look, and tell him if the woman is pretty. Nick hesitates, but under John's repeated pleading, he gives in. He leans in for a fast glance. Then his expression brightens. "She's beautiful," he says. John bursts with excitement. He yells out like he just opened a mystery box and hit the jackpot. But the joy lasts only a second. Nick's face suddenly shifts. He frowns and mutters, "I checked again, and I think we know her, and you're not going to like it." A bad feeling hits John. He rushes forward, and the moment he looks inside, his heart drops straight down. It's Catherine, his rival, the last person he wants to meet. For a moment, everything inside him collapses, but he forces himself together. A mischievous idea rises. He decides to mess with her. John walks into the cafe like he owns the place. He pretends it's a coincidence, then casually sits right beside Catherine. She spots him and freezes. She wants to hide, to disappear, but there's nowhere to go. Worse, John sits across from her as if he were invited. She swallows her anger. She politely asks him to leave so he won't ruin her date, but John has no intention of leaving. He leans back, enjoying her rising frustration. Then, to push her even harder, he bites down on the rose lying on the table. Catherine snaps. She fires back with everything she has. "You think crushing me in business gives you the right to parade around? I never cared about you. You're nothing but a greedy fraud, a polished beast in a suit." Her words land deeper than she expects. John stiffens. Something inside him cracks. He turns away and leaves quietly. A rare silence follows him, but Catherine has no idea. This man she tries hard to avoid is about to reshape her entire life. Catherine runs a small corner bookstore. It's warm, inviting, filled with life. Customers flow in endlessly. Her decor is heartfelt, her service gentle. On weekends, she hosts storytime for kids, the kind of warmth money can't buy. But good days never last long. A giant chain bookstore is about to open nearby. Its presence presses down like a storm. Catherine begins to worry. The pressure steals her breath. In the early days of the internet, she turns to an online forum to vent. Soon, a user named NY152 enters her world. His messages feel like a soft breeze after a long day. Clever, warm, comforting. But she doesn't know NY152 is John, the very man threatening her shop. Even more unbelievable, they live in the same neighborhood. They pass each other every day. They even buy the same morning coffee without knowing they're inches apart. Online, they agree not to reveal personal details, so neither knows who the other truly is. John shares funny things he saw on the street. Catherine talks about her love for Pride and Prejudice. Little by little, they drift toward each other's hearts. One day, John is forced to babysit his stepmother's kids. He remembers his father mentioning a difficult little bookstore nearby, so he takes the kids there to check it out. It's Catherine's store. She doesn't recognize him. She treats them kindly. She introduces books. She explains editions. She gives them the warm service everyone loves her for. She assumes the expensive hardcover won't be bought, but the little girl suddenly points at John. "He's not my dad, he's my uncle, and the boy is my big cousin's brother." Catherine is stunned, but John smiles and continues the act. She's right. We're a classic American family. At checkout, Catherine quickly masks her surprise, but since she loves chatting with customers, she suddenly brings up the chain bookstore opening soon. The girl almost blurts out, "That's our store!" But John reacts instantly and cuts her off before she reveals everything. Catherine notices nothing. Not long after, John's bookstore opens with a bang. Perfect systems, friendly service, huge discounts. Crowds flood in from day one. Meanwhile, Catherine's small bookstore loses its sparkle. Within a week, she loses thousands in revenue. Even so, she tries to stay optimistic. She tells herself it's only temporary, light will return. But instead of hope, a writer suddenly shows up. She's Catherine's partner for an upcoming book release. Seeing the current situation, she fears the bookstore may collapse before the book even comes out. Catherine says, "Don't worry," but inside, she's terrified. That night, Catherine attends an industry party with her boyfriend, hoping someone might offer advice. Ironically, John is there too. He spots her instantly. To avoid being recognized, he practically hides behind people, but fate enjoys jokes. They bump into each other anyway. He has no choice but to greet her calmly. A few polite sentences, a forced smile, then he escapes before she connects him to the chain bookstore. At first, Catherine simply thinks he's acting strange. He has visited her shop before. There's no reason to be so cold. But then someone beside her whispers, shocked, "You talked nicely with John Fox? His new bookstore is destroying yours." The realization stings. Catherine feels played. Furious, she storms toward John. She accuses him of using kids as spies, of gathering intel to crush her business. Now exposed, John drops the act. He speaks bluntly. "Yes, I know everything about your store, but that day I was genuinely babysitting. A good businessman always monitors competition. Otherwise, I'd be the one losing to you." His words slice like knives. Catherine wants to fight back, but her mind goes blank. Not a single comeback forms. Even as she lies in bed that night, the humiliation keeps her awake. Meanwhile, John also can't sleep. Something about her trembling voice earlier keeps echoing inside him. He suddenly feels guilty. He opens his laptop and pours out sincere words of apology to his online friend, never knowing the one reading is Catherine. Catherine, still upset, sits down at her computer too. She reads the message. She doesn't know it's from John, but she replies honestly, "I wish I could speak as well as you. Then maybe I wouldn't lose every argument and lie awake regretting it." Online, they pour their hearts out to each other. In real life, they hide like enemies. When John sees Catherine at the cafe, he lifts his newspaper to block his face. When Catherine sees him first, she ducks behind shelves like she's avoiding a plague. But destiny isn't done with them. One day at the supermarket, Catherine runs straight into John again. She panics. She tries to avoid him and rushes into a checkout lane, only to realize it's cash only. She has no cash. People behind her grow impatient. The cashier refuses to bend rules. Catherine tries again, her voice trembling. Just then, John appears behind her. He steps forward smoothly. He uses his charm to calm the crowd. He persuades the cashier to let her go through. His tone sweetens the whole situation. Then he leaves without waiting for thanks. Just slips away. Christmas arrives. Everyone celebrates. Everyone except Catherine. Her shop grows colder. Even the writer she cared so much about chooses John's chain bookstore to hold her book event. Snow falls outside. Catherine stares quietly. She thinks of her mother, how she once hoped Catherine would pass the shop to the next generation. Now it stands on the edge of closing. The thought crushes her. She turns to the only person who listens, her online friend. At first, John thinks she's troubled by love. His heart tightens strangely, but when he learns she's upset about business, he brightens instantly. He proudly types, "I'm a very successful businessman. Tell me your issues. Maybe I can help." But they once agreed never to reveal personal details. Catherine stays vague. John doesn't push. Instead, he sends motivation. "You're in a war. This isn't personal. This is business. If you want to survive, you must fight. The Godfather taught us that." The words hit hard. Catherine feels strength rising again. The next day, she asks her writer boyfriend to publish an article exposing the unfair competition of Fox Books. The article explodes across the city. People rage. The public sides with her small bookstore. Catherine takes the chance. She gives speeches at the street corner. She leads loyal customers in protest. She appears on news interviews. She accuses John of disrespecting literature despite selling books. The media eats it up. They twist John's statements. They smear him for drama. But even with the noise, Fox Books barely shakes. Catherine's store keeps sinking. Catherine finally reaches her breaking point. She decides to meet her online friend in person, the one who always encourages her, the one who feels like a lifeline. John has been waiting for this chance too. They agree to meet for dinner and use a bouquet of flowers as the signal. But when John arrives first and sees Catherine waiting, he freezes. He realizes the truth instantly. Instead of revealing himself, he hides behind sarcasm. He teases her, acts distant, and walks away. The meeting collapses before it begins. Catherine goes home devastated. She opens her computer. No message. Nothing. No explanation from the online friend who never fails to write back. She curls up in the dark, wondering what she did wrong. The next morning, she arrives at the store, only to be surrounded by curious employees. They know she had a date with her online friend. They want gossip. Catherine tells the whole story. They gasp. They come up with wild theories. Maybe he got stuck in the subway. Maybe he had a car accident. Maybe he was that murderer the police arrested last night. Catherine quickly shuts it down. The speculation is absurd. But what truly haunts her is not the no-show. It's how she lashed out at John afterward. Her words still echo painfully. She wants to apologize but lacks the courage. So she opens her laptop again and writes to her online friend, "Someone showed up last night. Someone who hurt my business terribly. For the first time in my life, I fought back. I thought it would feel good, but it didn't. It made me feel cruel, awful. Maybe you understand. Maybe you felt this too. And although I know you're not someone who cancels plans easily, I still wish you could explain what happened last night." John reads her message. His anger dissolves. Guilt floods in. He almost types a lie. "The building lost power. I was stuck on the 38th floor. The phone system failed." But his dog's skeptical stare makes him delete every word. Instead, he writes honestly, "I can't tell you what happened, but I hope you'll forgive me. And I'm sorry you had such a painful encounter at the cafe. People say hurtful things when they're stressed. Don't blame yourself. If anything, it's my fault. I missed our meeting first. That's what put you in that situation," he adds gently. "Even if we can't meet yet, we can still talk here. I'll always be your listener." And so they return to their purest connection, anonymous friends sharing their hearts. But reality doesn't pause. Catherine finally accepts that her bookstore cannot be saved. She holds a massive clearance sale. She sells everything at the lowest price. The elderly employee comforts her. Letting go is also wisdom. Failure is part of growing. But when Catherine locks the door for the last time, her hands tremble. This store holds her childhood, her mother's laughter, her most cherished memories. Under the dim streetlight, her figure looks unbearably lonely. Across the street, Fox Books glows like a festival. Crowds fill the store. Catherine steps inside, drawn in by a mix of curiosity and resignation. The space surprises her. It's bright, warm, filled with books and people. The second floor is a reading area for kids. Children sit, lost in stories. Standing there, Catherine suddenly understands. Her store didn't fall because of competition. It fell because the world changed, and hardship rarely comes alone. Her relationship collapses next. Her boyfriend has fallen for a famous TV host. Shockingly, Catherine doesn't cry. She laughs. She feels free. She realizes they were never truly in love. They were just two people waiting for someone else to appear. Meanwhile, John's girlfriend learns Catherine lost her shop. She wants to hire Catherine. Her literary sense is exceptional, but John refuses. "She's too kind," he says, "too gentle, not aggressive enough for management. She'd be wasted as a sales clerk too." Their argument gets cut short when the elevator suddenly stops. The operator panics and presses every button, thinking it will stop a fall. John stays calm. He reports the issue over the phone. While they wait, the trapped passengers begin sharing what they'd do if they survive. A woman says, "I'll talk to my mother again. I won't stay angry anymore." The operator says, "I just realized how much I love my girlfriend. I'll propose once I'm out." John's girlfriend hesitates, but finally says, "My first task is getting Botox." John freezes. He had expected something heartfelt, something real. People say you see the truth in a crisis. John sees it now. They don't truly love each other. When the elevator opens, they break up without a fight. After the breakup, John has nowhere to go. He's been living at his girlfriend's place. So he grabs his dog and heads to his father's yacht for the night. At dawn, he walks the dog along the pier and unexpectedly runs into his father. His father already knows about the breakup. He came to comfort him. He pats the boat and says, "Every time I break up with someone, I spend the night here. This boat heals everything." John scoffs. "With how many girlfriends you've had, how would you know heartbreak?" Then he suddenly realizes, "All your girlfriends, they were my nannies." His father doesn't deny it. Instead, he looks out at the water and murmurs, "I don't think I've ever met someone who truly fills my heart. If I did, I'd treasure her." John falls quiet. Because someone does fill his mind, Catherine. The next day, John buys daisies, her favorite flower. He walks to Catherine's building. Catherine doesn't want him inside. She has a terrible cold, and the apartment is a mess. But John follows another resident in and reaches her door before she can stop him. She scrambles to clean, throws clothes aside, kicks trash under furniture, and opens the door pretending everything's fine. Seeing him, she immediately complains, a reflex she can't control. Realizing it might start a fight, she tries to send him away quickly. But John steps right into the kitchen. He fills a vase. He places the daisies inside. Catherine softens. Daisies always do that to her. "To me," she says quietly, "daisies mean kindness. So let's call a truce." She hesitates, then adds, "You said you broke up recently. Coincidentally, I'm single too. And my online friend also realized after being stuck in an elevator that he never really loved his girlfriend. They split that night." John apologizes for his earlier behavior. Then a thought flashes in his eyes. He proposes a test. "If you like that online guy so much, why not try being with him?" Catherine blushes. "I barely know him," she says. "We only talk online." John hears what he needs. She does like him. Relief washes through him. He leans closer and whispers, "Then see him again. Don't let fear make your choices. Don't leave regret behind." For a second, Catherine's heart beats out of rhythm. She steps back before she loses control. Days pass. Catherine invites the online friend to meet again. John always refuses, inventing excuses. Because if he reveals himself too soon, she'll feel betrayed. He knows it. So he forms a double strategy. Online, he comforts her. In real life, he accidentally runs into her again and gently becomes her friend. Slowly, their hostility melts. They share conversations, moments, unspoken warmth, and Catherine realizes one day that she looks forward to seeing him. Finally, John decides the time is right. He sends an email, "Let's meet." Catherine receives it and immediately tells John, the real-life John. He pretends to be surprised. He analyzes it like a strategist. "This guy is smart. He calculated everything. He waited until you believed you can't live without him." Then he pauses. something deep rises inside him. If I weren't running Fox Books, and you weren't the owner of the bookstore, I would have asked for your number the moment I saw you. I would have taken you out. Movies, dinner, everything. Catherine stands frozen. He continues quietly. And here's the part I keep struggling with. Why can you forgive someone who didn't show up to meet you, but you can't forgive me for something that wasn't even personal? The words hit her like a confession, because it is one. A gentle, cautious plea for forgiveness. And maybe more. She panics. She flees. She tells him she has a date with her online friend and escapes before her heart gives out. She prepares. She dresses. She walks to the meeting place. Through blooming flowers, she sees a man approaching, John. Everything becomes clear. All the moments, all the warmth, all the confusion. Her eyes fill instantly. Tears shimmer. In that moment, every memory snaps into place. The first time they walked together, the first argument, the first accidental kindness, the first time her heart betrayed her by beating a little too fast. She realizes it was always him. John walks toward her with the gentlest smile he has ever worn. He waits. He gives her space. He lets her feel everything. Catherine whispers, trembling, "I was hoping it would be you." Relief floods his face. Joy, love, fear dissolving all at once. His dog barks jealously as the two step closer. And there, in a burst of sunlight and spring air, they kiss. A long, certain, overdue kiss. The kind that confirms they have finally reached the end of every misunderstanding and the beginning of everything else.